What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, Dp-Ygo commentary. I just wanted to check something right quick. Holy shit, 170 bucks. Alright, so Dp-Ygo commentary. We got Brandon DN. Main reason I'm recording this is because he plays Yosenju. 1643. The Scream 1430. Let me try and keep up to see what's happening here. Alright, so he opened with, I'm going to say that's Manju and not Sanju. Oh, I'm wrong. So that's Sanju. So you open up with Sanju and search Brio. And then I think Brio got Valkyris. And then he tributed the little blue boy, Sharit, to get, I'm not sure what he searched, but I know that he activated Valkyris' effect to draw 2. And now he'll probably banish Cycle and Klaus or Cycle and Valkyris to get another spell. So you end up going +1, which, I mean, when you summon the Manju, you go +1 anyway. But the difference is you draw cards, so you get draw power. So, and you get your Senju off the board because it's already been used. So, like, why not convert it into drawing? Generally, I think against the unknown, you want to end with either Klaus or Unicorn. Like, those are the two cards. Those are the defensive cards. Like, those are your defensive, I guess, control cards. The cards that you just want to leave on board out there by themselves, knowing that they're pretty good against most of the meta decks. So, now I'd be shocked if he just left his board completely open. Like, I don't think that that's ever a good play. If you just leave yourself open and you say, I'm just going to Valkyris you. Because then it's like you're spending a card. But then, which isn't that big of a deal. But then it's like if your graveyard gets locked by like a Dweller, then you just went neg 1 and you can't use your graveyard for a free card. So it's like now you're just relying on your hand. And you took the deck from great to average. Alright, so he activates Preparation of Reigns. Even more pluses, right? Now, one thing about Secret Forces is if you see these prices outside of the Nekroz stuff, all those reprints, oh my god, they have tanked so fucking hard. All the supers, they're just like, people thought Abyss Dweller would be, you know, like a $5 card. That motherfucker is like $1. Like, you can just, it's so good because I kind of just started playing a second Abyss Dweller. Because it's been a couple of times where I've used Dweller and Rhapsody of Berserk and needed to go into another Dweller, and that motherfucker is so damn cheap. So this time he adds Mirror, and he's gonna play it. Okay, he pays 3 stars, so he's gonna summon Klaus. Oh no, he's gonna summon Brio. Well, that's new. I've never seen that done before. Brio, such an awesome card. Now, unfortunately for him, Brandon DN plays Yosenju, so like honestly, he gives no fucks about Brio or about the Yosen lock. I mean the what's it called, the Gen lock, because he can just summon Yosen 2 and just kind of get out of it. Now he wisely takes Vanity's Emptiness. Essentially, what he's saying is, if you're gonna stun me, I'm gonna stun you. So that's pretty legit. Vanity's Emptiness is another card. When he plays it, I'm going to see what the price is. I think it says $5. It's not going to stay $5. I'm sorry. There's just too many of them. So there it is. He summons Yosen 3 and Yosen 1. He's going to bounce. So Brio goes to the hand, which means the Gen Lock is just, it's so useless against this deck. It's not even worth attempting. And I wouldn't be shocked if he went and got okay, he gets number 2. I thought he might get a secret move, but then that would turn off Vanity, so that kind of makes sense. Or I thought he might get the Honest Guy. So he'll probably set maybe a Vanities and a Fiendish Chain or something like that. Nope, he's going full back row. Back row hype for reals. Like, okay, just imagine if, like, right now he got to keep both monsters. Do you know how insane, like, how much better this deck would be if you got to keep your monsters on the field after doing like a play like that, and you get the search secret move? Like, it would be too good because your opponent would have to fight through 4 back row and you'd have a barrier. Actually, 5 back row, because you wouldn't have searched this guy. You'd have to fight through 5 back row, including an Infernity barrier. So basically, it'd be, okay, you don't have Den code, GG. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the deck would be so much better if they didn't bounce at the end of the turn. And then he'd be able to just, if his opponent didn't do anything, he'd be able to just search with this again. And it would just be so many easy pluses with this deck. The barrier play would be so goddamn good because it would be even better than Sotellus because it'd be searchable. You'd be able to just bury barrier every single turn. If they got a barrier and they got an Exceed, oh my god, if they got an Exceed, then you'd be able to Exceed and still have the barrier. That would be nuts. Because he could Exceed into like Abyss Dweller or something, but at this point with having the vanities, I'm not really sure that there's a need to. So Brandon Dn is looking at his opponent's graveyard and he must be thinking about what he wants to do. He's probably thinking, is that vanities going to hold up? Because if it doesn't hold up, then I might be fucked. So he's probably thinking about Abyss Dweller / Rhapsody of Berserk. Although Rhapsody of Berserk plus vanities is garbage because Rhapsody is so fucking small. Oh, he goes Luminescent Knight. Fair enough. I don't run that card anymore, by the way. Oh, he goes Anti-Spell Fragrance. Oh, man. Dude, he has the anti-meta for days. And that really sucks because now he doesn't really have to burn. Oh, well, there he goes. He can't activate that. He has to set it. Does he not know what Anti-Fragrance does? Yeah, you have to set that first. Which means that your opponent, if you're Brandon DN, you know that you're going to lose your Luminescent Knight. But for the most part, you don't care because you're about to go YOLO on him anyway. So it's like, yeah, you go ahead and you set your spells. I'm just going to summon everything I have and I'm going to go YOLO on you next turn. He goes for Manju. I don't think I would care about Manju, honestly. Because it doesn't do anything. Well, no, it gets you Valkyrus. Okay. I was going to say, it can get you Valkyrus. That's about it. So he gets Unicorn, and then I guess he goes for, yeah. Alright, it gets him Valkyrus. That's all it really does. Now, if you Dark Hole, you lose your Manju, though, so that's not really good. I assume he goes for that MST. It's not a very useful card in this matchup. Book of Eclipse, maybe? It's still in, okay. There's the Nekroz cycle. That's gone. Activates Pot of Duality. Solemn Warning looks great. Fiendish Chain looks good. Another Fragrance, maybe not so much. I guess the question becomes, do you want to stop the summon or do you want to deal with the monster? Life points are pretty irrelevant as Brandon DN has a lot of them to go around right now. Now, Nekroz really don't target that much, so I'm not sure how good the Luminescent Knight's going to be. He decides to take Anti-Spell Fragrance, which means it's not going anywhere. He's not going to be able to MST it after a Luminescent dies. If he MST'd now, it would just be dumb because he would just make his MST target his other card. So he can't MST Anti-Spell Fragrance. That shit's going to be there for the whole game, basically. Unless he trishes it. So I assume he'll Valk. It kind of makes no sense not to be honest. Okay. So he doesn't Valk. He's just going to take the attacks. It's kind of surprising to me. Okay. But I mean, this is his deck. Comma 1, I believe that goes back to the hand. And play will resume. He activates Dark Hole. Goodbye, Luminescent Knight. And I wonder what the set is. Because keep in mind, he can cycle the things from his graveyard, but he can't use them. Actually, this is really bad. Because he'll get Trish, but he can't summon it. The second he tries to flip over this, if this is a spell, he'll Vanities him and he can't MST it because he has to set MST first. He can't even MST him. So like he's adding all these spells, but if you're Brandon D, you really don't have to worry about what Scream is doing because he can't use any of these spells this turn. Although honestly, I probably would have taken Silent Warning. All right, so he'll flip Vanities over. Obvious play is obvious. And now if you're Scream, you're just left with a whole bunch of random spells. And you knew he had Vanities, so I mean, I guess at some point you have to trigger it. But the problem is you can't even MST him. You have to set MST first. So that kind of sucks. I mean, on the bright side, I guess you can just keep on adding spells, but that doesn't really do anything. Now, he's getting close to having to use that Valkyrus. I say that because if you take this attack, he doesn't have to attack you anymore. He'll just cowboy you. Alright. Like, he could just arbitrarily turn off his Vanities with, like, I don't know, an MST or something. Anything that hits the graveyard. And then he could just totally cowboy you for game. He'd have to turn off his Vanities, though. So he does block the attack with Valkyrus. And what's going to happen here now? He's setting monsters. Here's the problem. Comma 1 doesn't have to attack monsters. It can just attack directly. So if you think he's not going to get the damage in, you're wrong. So, alright. He goes comma 1 and comma 2. I don't really know what comma 2 does there. Like, I don't think I would attack face downs, honestly. Never know about that Ice Hand or Fire Hand in the main deck. Okay, so it's Little Blue Boy. It's Sharik. I guess he just wanted him face up so that he could bounce him next turn. I guess he felt like if this is game 1, that there's nothing that he could set that would scare him, because the only thing that they can set is what? Manju, Sanju, Strategist, and I'm missing one, the Jin. So you can just bounce him. And I think dude is level 3 too. Yeah, he's level 3. He hasn't grown up yet, so him being level 3 means no Xing, but it's not going to be any Xing anyway because he has this. So there's that. I think he may have just sourced another Valkyrus. Alright, so there's comma 1, comma 2. He'll probably bounce Sharik. Maybe not. So he attacks Manju. I mean, he can use Valkyrus, but I can tell you right now, if he thinks that this is not a war he's going to win by constantly trying to block the Valkyrus attacks and then bouncing Manju, he's not going to win that fight. Not against a stun deck anyway. Now I'm shocked that he isn't bouncing Sharik, but I guess he feels like the card isn't a threat to him right now. I mean, what's he going to do? Put it in attack mode and start attacking for 300? He ain't going to do that. I guess he'll just continually attack for 14. I mean, there really isn't a difference between 14 and 17 if you're talking about trying to win a game. Oh, okay, attack for 3,000 now. It's still the problem that he can totally kill both of these guys, so I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're to Scream, you have to do something. It's not like you can just sit there and die, right? I fully expect Brandon Dien to just take both attacks and not give a flip about it. And it really won't matter until next turn. If he has another Valk. Yeah, it wouldn't matter until then. Now let's see if he is able to do that. Okay, there's 1. There's 2. There's 3. So now he has even more commas. But I mean, the Valk does stop the battle phase, so I guess it really doesn't matter if you have 1 or 2. I would definitely attack this Broad last, just in case he has decisive armor. Decisive armor would help though, because you do some damage and then you clear your opponent's board. So this might get a little tricky. He says that is game. Oh, okay. I guess Scream is scooping it up. Says it leaves me with 100. Okay, well, I guess he didn't have decisive armor then. Okay, I guess Brandon Dien's not going to do the bounce play. Guess he's going to do something different. I guess you can't ever make your opponent do a move. I still would have bounced Sharik like 2 turns ago. Just for the hell of it. I mean, I'd have made you burn your normal whip by setting that card. That's just me personally. Because then you'd have never got Dance Princess on board. You'd have had to constantly keep setting Sharik. He says he was debating whether he should bounce Sharik. I mean, I would. Why not, right? It's not like he can't. If he gets rid of Vanity, it's not like he can't use it from the field anyway. As far as I'm concerned. So it looks like he's going to attack. Down goes the Dance Princess. Down goes Manju. He gets another Comet 2. I think they should have like a Battle Fader one or something like that. Because when your field is just open, man, I don't know what Konami expects you to do when all those motherfuckers return to your hand and then your field's like wide open and they don't have anything they have like no theme support to stop it. You know what I mean? So, Brandon Dien gets game 1. Like, you can't use, I mean, you can use the counter trap, but you have to play the fucking pendulums or you have to special summon one. Like, I don't know. I feel like, oh, you know what card is actually really cool? And, Yosenju, a lot of people haven't been, playing, but it's actually, I think it's really good. Miss Valley Falcon. That card is so good in that deck because, for one, it can bounce Tinky. If you attack, you can bounce Tinky. You're already going to run 3 of those. That's a staple. If you attack, you can bounce Phoenix Chain. You're already going to run 3 of those for the most part. That's a staple. So that's 6 cards right there. And it can bounce Vanity's Emptiness. There you go. So that's 9 cards that are like kind of staple that you're going to play. I mean, maybe you can debate whether 3 Phoenix Chain is needed, but you're going to play 3 Vanities and you're going to play 3 Tinkies. So, you know, those are cards you can bounce and then you can do other stuff. So I don't know. I think Miss Valley Falcon is pretty cool in the deck. And I'm trying to think if I'm pretty sure you can summon that off the field spell. Is it Divine Wind of the Miss Valley? I think it's called. The one that's limited to 1. Yeah. So I think that Miss Valley Falcon is pretty legitimate. You just have to make sure you're running a whole lot of continuous spells or traps. And if you're running things like Mistake, that's another way to use it. You can use Mistake on your opponents and then you can bounce it. Oh yeah, you can bounce Macro too. He'll probably take the Macro. Why not take the Floodgate card, right? And he does. Konami, Macro to 2, please. Next format. Now he won't be able to use the Honest from the hand anymore, but he could still use the on-field effect. That's what's so cool about that guy. He has that on-field effect. But yeah, I think I would a lot of Yosenju builds have like a tech monster or something. So I feel like that could be the tech guy in their deck. Like 1 Thunder King, a whole bunch of Yosenjus, and then maybe like a couple of Miss Valley Falcons. So he goes for Sanju. It's a shame he had the duality of that card into the graveyard, or he had the duality first because now he could technically be Trish because he has a graveyard. Anything after turn 1 and he wouldn't be able to get Trished. Like if he had played Macro first, but then he had to get the Macro from the Trishula. So he takes 1400. He's not gonna summon Trish, or at least not in main phase 1. Then he passes turn. He better really hope that he doesn't top deck a Yosenju, especially Yosenju 3. Oh my god, that would be the worst. Oh my god, he top deck Yosenju 3. That's the worst. That is literally the worst thing that could have happened to the Scream. Oh wait, that's right. It has to be a different one. My bad. I'm hyped for nothing. It has to be a one other than itself. So he activates Shared Ride. It's gonna draw a card. I was wondering if he was playing that too. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I wonder if he's playing Shared Ride. So he draws one. And I guess he won't go Brio this turn. He activates Nekroz Mirror. If he needs to go, okay, so Vanity's played. Oh man, that's really bad. He's been just getting locked down by Vanities. The Scream, did you not cite any spell or trap hate, bro? I mean, that's like, that's Nekroz 101. Oh my god, and now he's going super duper YOLO. He just went from 1 Yosenju to like 3. And since he does damage, he can just get whatever he wants. And now is when he should get the counter trap. Because if he gets the counter trap, it won't go to the graveyard. So he won't have to worry about it turning off Vanities. So like if his opponent activates Valkyrus, I'm pretty sure you can you can what's it called? You can use the counter trap on Valkyrus because it's Infernity Barrier. It's out for Nova. It stops monster effects, which means monster effects in the hand. Yeah, I think I would have gotten the counter trap and just set it. Because I don't need to attack your monsters at this point. At this point I can just attack your life points directly. But then again, it's like, look how much she gets. 4 guys. I mean, this is just YOLO-rific. Unless it's Fossil Dyna set. Well, no, it doesn't matter if it's Fossil Dyna. All these dudes are normal summoned. So Sharit dies. And he's going completely in on his opponent. And I think that's enough for game. No Cowboy required. Man, offensive explosion. Oh, he had another Vanities anyway. For Mystical Space Typhoon. It'd be crazy if he had a third Vanity set. But I mean, I'm seeing lockdown out the wazoo, guys. Let me know what you think of that game. And thank you for watching as always. Rematch offer.